Hello students! Welcome to the video lesson intended for you, grade 7 students. I am your teacher, Teacher April. Good morning everyone! Today, for week 5 of quarter 2, we will discuss about laws of exponent and its application. And these are the objectives. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to A. Illustrate laws of exponents, B. Multiply and divide polynomials. Now, in order to multiply and divide polynomials, we need to apply the laws of exponent. Remember, the exponent tells how many times the base will be multiplied by itself. Any number a raised to n. A is what you call the base and n is the exponent. Yung 5 cubed or 5 to the third power means 5 times 5 times 5. If we're going to simplify this, we have 5 times 5 is 25 times 5 is 125. So where 5 is the base and 3 is the exponent. Now, if the variable x is multiplied by itself 5 times, let's say x times x times x times x times x, we can write it as x to the 5th, where x is the base and 5 is the exponent. Now, for learning task 1, on the first column, you're going to simplify by writing in exponential form. For example, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So, you can write this as 2 to the 6 power. Why to the 6? Kasi 6 na beses inuulit ang 2. Or 6 na beses minultiply ang 2. Next, on the second column, you're going to write in expanded form. For example, the quantity of 2x raised to the 4th power. So, meaning, imumultiply mo ng 4 na beses ang 2x. So, 2x times 2x times 2x times 2x. Okay? So, you do the rest of the number. That is for learning task number 1. Now, exponent have its own rule, especially in performing multiplication and division of polynomials. So, these are the laws of exponent. And what are the laws of exponent? So, number 1, we have the product of power or the product rule. So, any number a and integers m and n, a raised to m times a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. So, meaning, when multiplying two powers with the same base, just add the exponent. For example, b squared times b cubed. So, b squared means b times b. b cubed means b times b times b. So, we have b to the 5th power, or simply add the exponent of the same base. So, b raised to 2 plus 3 equals b to the 5th power. Next, number 2, we have power of a power. So, the quantity of a raised to m raised to n is equal to a raised to m times n. Now, to simplify any power of a power, simply multiply the exponent. So, for example, the quantity of a squared raised to the 3rd power is equal to a 2 times 3 is equal to a raised to the 6. Next, letter B. The quantity of a squared over b cubed raised to the 2nd power equals, so multiply the exponent, 2 times 2, we have a raised to the 4th. Then 2 times 3, we have b raised to the 3 times 2. So simplifying, we have a to the 4th over b to the 6. Next, power of a product or power with a different bases. So any number a raised to n, b raised to n is equal to the quantity of a times b raised to the n. The power of a product is the product of the powers. For example, the quantity of x, y, z raised to the fifth power is equal to x to the fifth, y to the fifth, z to the fifth. Next, the quantity of 2ab raised to the third power is equal to, so we have 2 cubed, ayan, 2 cubed times a cubed times b cubed. Then simplify, 2 cubed, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. Then copy a cubed and b cubed. So therefore the answer is 8a cubed b cubed. Next is the quotient of a power or the quotient rule. So any number a and integers m and n, we have a raised to m over a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n. So meaning, when dividing two powers with the same base, just subtract the exponent. So this time, ima-minus ninyo exponent nang magkaparehas ang base. For example, a to the fifth over a squared. So a to the fifth means a times a times a times a times a. A squared means a times a. So if we divide a divided by a, the answer is 1 or just cancel. A divided by a is 1 or cancel. So we have a times a times a. So the product is a cube, or simply subtract the exponent of the same base. So kapag nag-divide ng parehas ang base, just subtract the exponent. So we have a raised to 5 minus 2 is equal to a cube. Next is the zero exponent. A non-zero base raised to a zero exponent is equal to 1. So sa madaling salita, any number raised to 0 is always equal to 1. For example, a cube divided by a cube. So, a cube means a times a times a over a times a times a. We divide this, a divided by a is 1, a divided by a is 1, a divided by a is 1. So the answer is 1, or simply, if we subtract their exponent, we have 3 minus 3 is 0. So any number raised to a 0 is always equal to 1. Next is the negative exponent. A non-zero base raised to a negative exponent is equal to the reciprocal of the base raised to the positive exponent. For example, a squared divided by a to the fourth power. So a squared is a times a. A to the fourth is a times a times a times a. So if we divide a, divided by a is 1, a divided by a is 1. So we have 1 over a squared. Or simply, if we subtract 2 minus 4, we have a negative. A to the negative 2. So take note, the negative exponent is equal to the reciprocal of the base raised to a positive exponent. So this will become 1 over a squared. Okay? So therefore, the answer is 1 over a squared. Now, let us apply the laws of exponent in multiplication of polynomials. So letter A, multiplying monomial by a monomial. For example, 3xy plus 4xz. So in this case, you're going to multiply the numerical coefficient. So 3 times 4 is 12. Then add the exponent of the same base, x times x, x squared. Then bring down y and z kasi wala naman siyang kaparehas. So therefore, the answer is 12x squared yz. Next, letter B, multiplying monomial by a polynomial. So in this case, you're going to use the distributive property. You're going to multiply each term of the polynomial by a monomial. So we have a times b plus a times c plus a times d. So simplifying, we have ab plus ac plus ad. For example, find the product of 3abc and 4a squared plus 3a minus 5. So we have monomial multiplied by a trinomial. Okay, so trinomial is considered as polynomial. So multiply each term. So 3abc multiplied by the first term, we have 4a squared plus 3abc times the second term, 3a, plus 3abc times the last term, negative 5. So simplifying, we have multiply the numerical coefficient, 3 times 4 equals 12. Add the exponent of the same base, we have a and a squared. So we have a cubed. Then, bring down b and c kasi walang kaparehas. Next term, multiply the numerical coefficient, 3 times 3, 9. Add the exponent of the same base, we have a squared. Then, copy or bring down b and c. Next term, positive times negative equals negative. 3 times 5 equals 15. Then, bring down a, b, c. So, the answer is 12a cubed bc plus 9a squared bc minus 15abc. Okay? How do you multiply polynomial by another polynomial? For example, what is the product of the quantity of m minus 4 and the quantity of 2m squared plus 2m minus 3? Now, there are two methods. One is using the distributive method or the horizontal form. The next one is using the vertical form. Now, our first polynomial is the quantity of m minus 4, which is a binomial. And the second polynomial is 2m squared plus 2m minus 3, which is a trinomial. Now, using the distributive property, the first term of the binomial, m, is multiplied by each term of the trinomial. The second term of the binomial is multiplied by each term of the trinomial. Okay, so let us multiply. M times the first term, which is 2m squared, is 2m cubed. So add the exponent of the same base. Next, positive m times positive 2m is positive 2m squared. Add the exponent of the same base. Next, positive m times negative 3 is negative 3m. Next, negative 4 times the first term, which is 2m squared, is negative 8m squared. Negative 4 times positive 2m is negative 8m. Negative 4 times the last term, which is negative 3, is positive 12. Now, let us combine like terms. Yung magkakaparehas ang literal coefficient. Okay, so bring down 2m cubed. Next, let us combine positive 2m squared and negative 8m squared. The sum is negative 6m squared. So negative kasi unlike sign, copy the sign of the bigger number. And then copy the literal coefficient. Next is negative 3m and negative 8m. Add and copy the sign. So we have negative 11m. And then bring down positive 12. Okay? In multiplying a polynomial by another polynomial, each term of the multiplier is multiplied by each term of the multiplicand. Then similar terms in the partial products are combined. So for example, 2m cubed plus 2m minus 3 times m minus 4. So para ka lang dito nag-multiply ng whole number. Okay. So the first term is m. So this m minus 4 is your multiplier. And 2m squared plus 2m minus 3 is your multiplicand. So the first term, m, is multiplied by each term of the polynomial. So m times 2m squared is 2m cubed. M times positive 2m is positive 2m squared. M times negative 3 is negative 3m. Okay, next is the last term, which is negative 4. Negative 4 times 2m squared is negative 8m squared. Negative 4 times positive 2m is negative 8m. Next, negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. So this will be your partial product. Okay, then add following the rules in addition of polynomials. So bring down 2m cubed, then subtract and copy the sign of the bigger number. We have negative 6m squared, then copy the literal coefficient. Next, negative 3m plus negative 8m is like sign. So that is 11m. So add and copy the sign. Then bring down 12. So therefore, the answer is 2m cubed minus 6m squared minus 11m plus 12. Okay, which is also the same with horizontal method. Next is the division of polynomials. So how do you divide polynomials? For example, find the quotient 25x to the 5th y squared z cubed divided by 5x y cubed z squared. So all you have to do is to divide the numerical coefficient. So we have 25 divided by 5 is 5. So you will write 5 in the numerator. Then apply the quotient law of exponents. That is, you're going to subtract the exponent of the same base. So we have x to the 5th divided by x. That is 5 minus 1 is 4. So you will write x to the 4th in the numerator. Next, y squared divided by y cubed. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So you will write y in the denominator. Next is z cubed divided by z squared. 3 minus 2 is 1. So you will write z in the numerator. Okay, so we have now in the numerator 5x to the 4th z, and in the denominator we have y. So therefore the answer is 5x to the 4th z over y. Next, what is the quotient of 4x to the 8th plus 6x to the 6th minus 2x to the 4th minus 10x squared all divided by 2x squared. So this is dividing polynomial by a monomial. So all you have to do is divide each term of the polynomial by the monomial. So we have 4x to the 8 divided by 2x squared plus 6x to the 6 divided by 2x squared. Next, minus 2x to the 4th divided by 2x squared minus 10x squared divided by 2x squared. Then simplify. Divide the numerical coefficient. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Subtract the exponent of the same base. 8 minus 2 is 6. So we have here x to the 6. Next, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Then subtract the exponent of the same base. We have x to the 4th. You will write in the numerator. So x to the 4th. Then 2 divided by 2 is 1. So do not write anymore 1. Then x to the 4th divided by x squared is x squared. Next, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 2 minus 2 is 0. And any number raised to 0 is equal to 1. So the answer is 2x to the 6 plus 3x to the 4th minus x squared minus 5. Next is dividing polynomial by another polynomial. So how do you divide polynomials? For example, divide 15n squared minus 2n minus 24 by 3n minus 4. So yung 3n minus 4 is our divisor na nakalagay sa labas ng division symbol. Yung 15n squared minus 2n minus 24 naman ay ang ating dividend na nakalagay sa loob ng division symbol. Now, first is divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. So, divide 15n squared by 3n. The quotient is 5n. Okay? So, yun ang ilalagay mo dito sa taas. This will be your partial quotient, 5n. Next, multiply the divisor 3n minus 4 by the partial quotient, which is 5n. So, 5 times 3n minus 4. So, let us multiply. 5n times 3n is 15n squared. 5n times negative 4 is negative 20n. Next is subtract the product from the dividend, then bring down 24. So, magsasubtract tayo dito, but take note kapag nag-subtract, change the sign of the subtrahend and follow the rules in addition. So, yung positive magiging negative, yung negative 20 magiging positive 20. Okay, so let us simplify. So, 15n squared minus 15n squared, so that is 0. Then, negative 2n plus positive 20n is subtract the number and copy the sign of the bigger number. We have 18n and then bring down negative 24. Okay, next, ulitin lang natin yung step. This time, divide 18n by 3n. The quotient is positive 6. So, ilalagay mo dito positive 6 sa taas. And then, multiply 3n minus 4 by the second quotient, which is 6. So, 6 times 3n minus 4. So, that is 6 times 3n is 18n. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. And then, subtract. Change the sign of the subtrahend and follow the rules in addition. So, this will become negative 18. And this will become positive 24. Okay? So, 18n minus 18n is 0. Negative 24 plus 24 is 0. So, the difference is 0 and there is no remainder. Therefore, the quotient is 5n plus 6. Next example is 6x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2z plus 3 divided by x minus 2. So, our divisor is x minus 2 to be placed outside the division symbol. And our dividend is 6x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 3. So, the first step is to divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. So that is 6x cubed divided by x is 6x squared. So this will be your partial quotient. Next, multiply 6x squared times x minus 2. So that is 6x squared times x, 6x cubed. So add exponent of the same base. Next, 6x squared times negative 2 is negative 12x squared. Then, subtract. Change the sign of the subtrahend and follow the rules in addition. So, from positive 6, it will become negative 6. From negative 12, it will become positive 12. Okay? Then, simplify. 6x cubed minus 6x cubed is 0. Next, negative 3x squared plus 12x squared is unlike sign. Subtract the number and copy the sign of the bigger number. So we have 9x squared. Then bring down 2x, bring down positive 3. Next, let us divide 9x squared to the first term of the divisor x. So 9x squared divided by x is positive 9x. Then, multiply. We have 9x times x is 9x squared. 9x times negative 2 is negative 18x. Then, subtract. Change the sign of the subtrahend and follow the rules in addition. So, from positive 9, it will become negative 9. From negative 18, it will become positive 18. Okay, so let us simplify. 9x squared minus 9x squared is 0. Positive 2x plus positive 18x is like sign. Add and copy the sign, we have 20x. Then bring down positive 3. Okay, next, let us now divide 20x by the first term of the divisor x. So, 20x divided by x is positive 20. Multiply. Positive 20 times x minus 2. So, positive 20 times x is 20x. Positive 20 times negative 2 is negative 40. And then, subtract. Change the sign of the subtrahend and follow the rules in addition. So, from positive 20, it will become negative 20. And from negative 40, it will become positive 40. Okay? So, 20x minus 20x is 0. Positive 3 plus positive 40, like sign. Add a number and copy the sign. So, we have positive 43. So, therefore, the remainder is 43. So, we will write the quotient as 6x squared plus 9x plus 20, remainder 43. Or, pwede mo rin siyang isulat ng 6x squared plus 9x plus 20 plus 43 over the divisor x minus 2. Okay? So, for your learning task number 2, you're going to answer letter B. Perform the indicated operation. Simplify your answer. So, you have 10 items. Okay? So, that's all for today. So, kailangan lang ng pagtsatsaga upang matutunan mabuti ang mga aralin. Thank you for watching. Always remember, study with love, study with all your heart. Please do like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Stay safe. God bless.